Welcome to Doug In Exile. We're going to get caught up on Marjorie Taylor Greene, specifically on her bill to stop funding NPR and PBS for their woke children's material. And then I'm going to show you in the middle how I'm involved in a project of my own with some friends that are doing a business about making books and entertainment for the whole family that you'll be able to click and check out over on Kickstarter. There's a link below. Then we're going to get back to the latest statement from Marjorie Taylor Greene. So here she is, the great one, but this really is about who should be funding, who makes the choice on what material gets made for your kids. Should it be the government like with NPR and PBS, or should it not be the private industry, which we're doing right here on Kickstarter? Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene to introduce it.
The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is using taxpayer dollars to actively suppress the truth, suppress diverse viewpoints, and produce some of the most outlandish, ludicrous content. After listening to what we've heard today, we will be calling for the complete and total defund and dismantling of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Here's how it works in America every single day. Private businesses operate on their own without government funding. We believe that you all can hate us on your own dime.
Yeah, pay for your own hate. I'm an entertainer for 30 years, over probably 35 years. I have to pay for my own projects in the private sector. If I had just the tiniest smidgen of NPR and PBS's money, I would be rolling in it as a creator, and I would be able to create hundreds more. That's not how I do it. I go to the free market. I go to you. Now let's get an update on I'm going to give you an update on where Marjorie Taylor Greene's bill is and where it's at to pass, because it's not quite done yet, but we're getting there. The House Representatives passed a bill on June 12th, 2025 to rescind $1.1 billion in federal funding for the corporate for public broadcasting, which supports PBS and NPR and the public media stations. The vote was narrowed 214 to 212, with 4 Republicans joining Democrats to oppose it. The bill, part of the $9 billion rescissions package targeting foreign and public broadcasting, was driven by President Trump's administration and supported by Marjorie Taylor Greene. So this is the $9 billion where we're trying to enshrine some of Elon Musk's work with Doge, enshrine it into law. So it's going to be this way from now on. This will be a new law defunding it. It's not quite there yet, like I said. The bill has moved to the Senate, where it requires only a simple majority to pass. The Republicans hold a 53 to 47 majority. That means we can lose 6. The Senate has until mid-July. That's next month, and we'll keep you posted on that, as the Congress has 45 days from the bill's submission to approve it or reject it. That can actually get called up any day now. Otherwise, the funding remains intact. Some moderate Republican senators like Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski have expressed concerns, but it's unclear enough if they will vote to block the passage. If the Senate approves, the cuts would eliminate $535 million for fiscal year 2026 and 27, that's next year and the year after, threatening local stations, especially in rural areas, which rely on the corporate for public broadcasting for 8 to 10% of their budgets on average. NPR and PBS have warned of the severe impacts of this emergency alert. Now I want to show you this video of my friend Ethan Nicole and I. We both worked on VeggieTales. He was one of my writers, and he's producing a private project where we ask you for funding. I'm not paid to do this at all. I just support the arts, and I am a contributor to this book. I'm going to do some pages of my own comic book work. Those of you who want to support great American creators and great content that is not about drag queens, this is where you can fund it. Watch this. Now, look, we just now talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene and how all this woke funding from the government went to NPR and PBS, and that's going to end. But that means a lot of artists, a lot of creators that are probably too involved in politics, they're going to lose their jobs. You know what's tough? Being an artist like Ethan and I, and having to create your own new work. So what Ethan has done is we have a Kickstarter. There's a link in the description of a new kind of family-oriented adventure book that we're hoping that you'll be interested in. So real quick, Ethan, tell us about your book called This Book Might Explode. And I'm going to real quick show the Kickstarter here on this screen while you describe it.
So me and my buddy Eric Branscombe, we worked with Doug on VeggieTales in the House, VeggieTales in the City, at Netflix, at DreamWorks. We also created the TV shows over at Daily Wire's kids content. And through all that we learned through making kids content, we wanted to make something that felt kind of like when you go into Barnes & Noble and there's that whole kids section and you're kind of trying to figure out, what do I pick? What's the new thing to get? This book has not just a bunch of different stories in it, comics, chapter books, it's got games, it's got puzzle, and it has interactive content. Kids can finish stories and send stuff in. They might get it printed in the next issue. And it's all a cast of creators that are guys like us.
Good guys
who love their kids, love their family, and it's a very pro-family project.
Okay, so most important, guys, is I'm one of the contributors.
Yeah.
I'm doing at least 4 pages in this first book if I can hit my deadline by the end of the month. He's a mean project manager. But I'm not making money on this book at all. This is not about me making money. This is about the project getting funded so that a whole bunch of artists can get it done. Now, I'm going to encourage you to do a donation to the project. Again, I'm not getting a dime of it. You're going to get sent a book. So let's look at Kickstarter. Some of you are not familiar with Kickstarter. This is how projects get made. And you can see so when you click the link in the description, it'll take you to this page. This is Kickstarter, and it's going to ask you, you're going to see that it has raised in the upper right hand corner here, $29,000 already. That means the project is funded. So now we're just trying to get a few more people who want to give a great gift to their kids, their grandkids, or maybe you want to check out this book yourself. This is the book called This Book Might Explode. Now over here, let's go down here on this side here. Mm-hmm. The most popular donation right now is $38. And you get the first book and a bunch of goodies. Right. But if you skip down one more, there's the first volume, just the first volume, $25. That's one that I want you to try to click on if you can do it. Get in there. It'll ask you for your credit card information and make your payment and all that. Let's look at the book real quick, okay? If you go down this list, it'll show you all the stories that are coming up in it that are really fun. Again, family friendly. Here's some of the authors and some of the creators in it. There's no political stuff. We're not doing a political book. This is about the artistry, story, character, and humor. Here's Jack Handy he did Deep Thoughts back on Saturday Night Live. Look, here's Doug TeNapel, whoever this guy is. Ooh, what a hack. Here's Mike Nelson from Mystery Science Theater. Here's Bill Brennison. He's an animation director. Here's Frank Fleming. He used to work for Babylon Bee, and he's also a great writer and programmer. Here's Rich Werner, who did Plants vs. Zombies. Michael Foster, he's got this great artistic style. Here's Brian Scheer, he's an old friend of mine. He worked on the Transformers and G.I. Joe comic books. Here's Vance Kovacs, he's an old video game designer. So we've got a real great cast of characters. Check out This Book Might Explode. Click that link down there now.
And just say he's saying donation, but it's really a pledge because you do get something back. You're not just giving money away.
You got to support the arts, my people. So that was our project. And now back to, I told you I'd give you a more recent update from Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's calling out Governor Pritzker, Governor Kathy Hochul, and Governor Tim Walz that they've turned their states into sanctuary cities for illegal aliens. And it's time they answer for the lives they've lost, the laws they've broken, and the trust they betrayed. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene to close us out.
I've heard a lot of lying from the governors, Governor Walz, Governor Hochul, Governor Pritzker, them saying that they do support federal law, and that's shocking. For the past 4 years, they supported the invasion of this country. They supported the Biden administration, and they used their states as sanctuaries for illegal aliens that committed crimes against Americans.
What can this committee do to hold them accountable?
There's many things the committee can do to hold them account. We'll go through this hearing. We'll see what their answers are. But the Department of Justice can also hold them to account. There's Americans that have been murdered because of their state's sanctuary policies, and they use their position as governors to uphold these laws, which is basically treason against the American people. They have given aid and comfort to America's enemies, and Americans are dead because of it. I'll give you one example. Her name is Laken Riley.
That is about your government squandering its fortune into the ground, just like with PBS. It's all the same woke ideology that ends up leading not only to very terrible entertainment for children that brainwashes them into the Marxist ideology, but also the outcome in our public leaders that lead to on the streets, people being killed. And like what Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, that this is treason. What do you guys think? Will you click on that link below for our Kickstarter on this project? I'm Doug in Exile.